Headline: The Venezuela Wake-Up Call. Why Canada's pipeline paralysis is coming home to roost. The recent U.S. military intervention in Venezuela and the capture of Nicolas Maduro have sent shockwaves through the global energy market. But for Canada, this isn't just a foreign policy story, it's a direct threat to our economic sovereignty. For years, many of us warned that failing to build coast-to-coast pipe Canada market captive. That warning is becoming a reality. The looming competition. Venezuela sits on the world's largest oil reserves. Like Alberta, they produce heavy, crude. For the last decade, Canadian Oil Western Canada Select filled the void left by Venezuelan sanctions, feeding the massive refineries on the U.S. Gulf Coast. Now, with the U.S. signaling a reboot of the Venezuelan oil sector under American oversight, we face a grim reality. Geography. Venezuela is closer to the U.S. Gulf Coast than Alberta is. Infrastructure. Once sanctions are lifted and investment flows, Venezuelan oil can reach those refineries cheaper and faster. The price gap. Analysts are already predicting a widening differential, meaning Canada will have to sell its oil at an even steeper discount to compete. A 10% loss in exports could mean a $13 billion hit to our national economy. The proactive path not taken. This vulnerability was avoidable. Had the federal government prioritized energy security over the last decade, Canada's economy would be insulated today. 1. Energy East cancelled 2017. If we had a pipeline to New Brunswick, Eastern Canada wouldn't be importing foreign oil today. We could have supplied our own refineries and shipped to Europe from our own Atlantic ports. To Keystone 40 cancelled 2021. This would have locked in long-term high-volume capacity to the Gulf Coast, making it much harder for Venezuelan oil to displace Canadian barrels. 3. Northern Gateway cancelled 2016. Instead of waiting until 2024 for the Trans Mountain expansion, we could have had multiple outlets to Asia a decade ago, breaking our total reliance on the U.S. market. The economic outlook for 2026, we are now in a race against time. The Alberta and federal governments are finally moving on a new Northwest Coast pipeline project. But it's a Plan B that should have been Plan A years ago. The bottom line, when we don't build our own paths to the world, we are at the mercy of U.S. foreign policy. Every time the U.S. changes its mind about a dictator or a trade deal, the Canadian worker pays the price. It's time to stop treating pipelines like a political option and start treating them like the national security necessity they are.